There's been a lot of buffs in this Season 3 Reloaded update on Black Ops 7, changing the meta completely, and I'm going to be showing you guys 5 classes now that are going to absolutely dominate every single game mode. Alright, so the first one is going to be the DS20 Mirage. This one got a medium damage range increase and a medium damage range 1 increase. So the damage range 1 is like up to 20 or 18 meters or something, and then after that it goes up to like 25 meters. Either way, it does 1 extra damage now per shot, which is pretty good. That means in 5 shots you're dealing 5 extra damage. It's not bad, but in all modes it also got a headshot multiplier increase from a 1.35 times to a 1.4 times, and a lower torso and legs multiplier increase to a 1.1 times. So this thing is absolutely insane. The DS20 is probably one of the better guns in the game right now. It still shoots a little slow compared to other guns, but because of this buff, this thing is so good at mid-range, long-range, close range, whatever you want to use it at, you're gonna do pretty well with it. You guys are watching the gameplay. This thing is pretty nasty. So for what I'm using on the classes, basically all the classes I'm running Ninja, Vigilance, Dexterity, which is going to give me Scout right here, and then I got Frags, Stim Shots, Assault Packs, and then I got my secondary. You guys can see all the attachments on that one right there. I guess this is like a bonus class right there. It's pretty nice. Then we got a knife, and I got Tac Expert, obviously. So for the DS20 Mirage, we got the Lethal Tools, one of the nicest, cleanest sights in the game. Then for the barrel, we got the 20-inch Rupture. This one's going to give you guys damage range, so it's going to increase that. It's already buffed at mid-range, and now we're going to increase it even more with that attachment. Then we got the Andean Extended Mags, which is going to give us 40 bullets in the magazine. Then we got the Needle Tail Grip, which is ADS speed, and jumping ADS speed is really nice, but I might switch it out for the Ulysses Grip, which is going to give us Sprint to Fire. I feel like it might be a little more worth having that on an AR. And then for the final attachment, we got Recoil Sync Unit, which is the recoil springs, and it's going to make this thing an absolute laser. So that is the class for the DS20 right there. You guys want to use this thing, abuse it, do what you got to do with it. It is going to go off. Since Season 3 Reloaded dropped, I want you guys to let me know what is your go-to weapon down in the comments below. I want to see if it's one of the guns that is buffed, or if it's a gun that hasn't been buffed or nerfed. Let me know down in the comments below what is your go-to. And while you're there, drop a big fat like on this one. It helps me out tremendously. The next weapon on this list that actually got buffed is one that I really love to play with right now. Actually, before we do, the MK35 got nerfed, guys. Alright, so there's no class for that. Unfortunately, it got nerfed. I feel bad. It was my favorite gun in the game. But either way, we got the MXR17 now, which did catch a buff, and it increased the maximum damage range by 1 and the minimum damage range increase by 2 damage. So this thing is going to do a lot of damage now up close, long range, all that kind of stuff, and it's really good. That's basically it for multiplayer. But it is a very good gun, all right? So the MXR is a slept-on gun in my opinion, but it is nice. Like I said, all the attachments, everything here is going to be pretty much the same, the perks, all that. But for the attachments on this one, we got the Lethal Tools Elo, or you could run the Fang Hover Point, whichever one you guys prefer. Doesn't really matter, but the Lethal Tools is really nice. For the muzzle, we're going to be running the Redwell 90. This is for vertical recoil control. It's going to make this thing an absolute laser. Then for the barrel, we got the 18-inch for damage range and bullet velocity, so it's going to be really good, especially if you're trying to use this class on Warzone as well, especially on BRs and stuff. It's going to play nice. For the magazine, we're going to use the Vault Extended just to bring it up to 30, which is weird. It should be a little higher than that, but 30 is kind of solid. It brings it to like on par with all the other ARs and stuff. And then for the laser, I'm running the 1 milliwatt Instinct laser. This one's going to give you guys ADS and Sprint to Fire. Your laser is visible in the hip, but you will have insane ADS and Sprint to Fire. So this gun right here, again, this thing is going to purely dominate every single lobby. It's going to drop people easily. It's going to be easy to drop, and it's going to be really nice. The next weapon on this list is the MPC-25. Now, the MPC-25, again, caught a beautiful, beautiful buff. Probably one of the best buffs out of this whole video, and right here, you're going to see that the maximum damage range increased by 1 damage. The maximum damage range increased by 0.5 meters. So it's not much. Honestly, that's not too much, but it does make a slight difference when you're in mid-range gunfights. The medium damage range 1 increased by 2 damage, and the medium damage range 1 increased by 1.5 meters. So that's actually kind of huge right there. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's gonna change gunfights a lot. And then the minimum damage range increased by 2.5 meters. So now the maximum damage that it does is increase the minimum damage, and the medium damage, everything's increased. And again, it also got a lower torso multiplier and a vertical and horizontal recoil was reduced by 10%, guys. That is huge. This thing is going to be an absolute laser, all right? And then if you're using the KNS compensator, your vertical recoil control benefit improved from 12 to 18%, and your 14.5-inch Vaz Ash barrel also got a nice increase. The damage benefit increased from 12 to 18% as well. So this thing is all absolutely disgusting. I'm gonna say it's probably one of the nicest SMGs in the game, but I hate the iron sights, so I am running the lethal tools on this. I feel like it's a waste of an attachment, if I'm being absolutely honest with you guys. I don't like that I have to run it, but I hate the iron sight. It's just so big and clunky. It doesn't look nice whatsoever. Then the muzzle is going to be the KNS because, guys, it got buffed, all right? So this is going to be absolutely disgusting. It's going to give you vertical recoil control. This gun shoots out really, really fast, so having that vertical recoil control is going to be really nice. Then for the barrel, again, we're using the buffed one. This is the 14.5-inch Vast Ash barrel for damage range, and it's going to increase it even more than it ever did before. So if you never wanted to use this attachment because you thought it was useless, it is buffed now. It is nice, and it's going to do a good job. Then we got the Coach Whip Fast Mag. I love the name of this one. It's just kind of fun. This one's 30 bullets, but you get to reload a lot faster. So that's what I like about it. I like to rush a lot. I reload this gun a lot. This is going to help me out a lot. And then for the rear grip, I'm using the Torque Prime grip, and this is for sprint to fire speed and jumping sprint to fire speed. I find the ADS is already so fast, so there's no need to run something like the Photonic adaptive grip or anything, but it's really solid. All right, so this one right here, this class is going to absolutely shred people, and in my opinion, one of the best guns in the game. The next weapon that got a buff is the Voyak KT3. The Voyak KT3 is an assault rifle that I never really used. I only have it at level 16 at the moment, but because it caused such a nice buff, I'm going to start using it a lot more often as well. So this one right here is really good in my opinion. It got a medium damage range increase by one, or sorry, the damage range 1 increased by 19.5 meters. That is disgustingly buffed. Like, that is huge. 19.5 meters. This thing is gonna be good finally at medium range. And then minimum damage range increased by 5 meters. So this thing is disgustingly good. All right, it's gonna do max damage even further out now. Medium damage even further out, a lot further out now than it ever did before. So this thing is definitely a gun you might want to consider using, probably closing in on one of the best ARs in the game. Now, again, we got lethal tools, but if you guys want, you can run the Fang Hover Point. They work the same. They're both nice. They both do a great job. After that, we got the muzzle, which is the Redwell Shadow X suppressor. This is going to give you recoil gun kick, vertical recoil control, horizontal recoil control, and no minimap firing ping. The reason I'm running this attachment is because, yes, it does take away damage range. Yes, it does take away bullet velocity, but it got so buffed in those anyways that you won't even notice a difference whatsoever. It's actually still super strong at those ranges. We're going to skip the barrel on this one, and we're going to go to the magazine, and that is going to be the Line Guard Casket Mag for 40 rounds. Then after that, we're going to go to the rear grip, which is going to be the Initiator grip, and this one's good for sprint to fire and jumping sprint to fire. I find the ADS in this game is decent, so you don't really need to focus on those attachments too much. And then finally, the laser, we're going to focus a little bit on ADS, is the 1 megawatt instant laser array. This one gives you ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Your laser is visible in in the hip, which is not too bad. If you're ADSing, if you're running around and stuff, no one's gonna notice that laser anyway, so definitely go ahead and throw this on. And the final weapon that got a buff is a Nether SMG. Actually, there was a lot of buffs, but the other weapons I don't really use are LMGs and stuff, but regardless, the next one is the Sturm Wolf 45 SMG. This one right here, it got a decent buff, probably not the best buff in the game, but it's really not bad at all. The medium damage range 1 increased by 1 meter, and the medium damage range itself also increased by 1 meter. In all modes, the ADS speed has also improved from 190 milliseconds to 170 milliseconds, and we all know that when you play a game like COD, milliseconds matter, and 20 milliseconds is a huge buff in terms of ADS. So the class for this one, as you guys can see, we're running the lethal tools once again, because it is what it is. We got to use it. It is nice. And then after that, we're going to run the muzzle, and this one is the Hawker Series 45, which is going to give us vertical recoil control, a whole lot of it, so that you could use this SMG at range, and it will do pretty nice. The barrel is going to be the 14.8-inch Perigi, whatever you want to call it, barrel. This is going to give you even more damage range. Guys, the damage range is so damn nice on this thing. You could use this SMG as an AR, and you will be competitive. The next one is the magazine, and this is the 48-round mag, the Locust Extended. It's good, 48 rounds. This gun doesn't shoot too fast, so you won't blow through those 48 so fast. That works out really nice. And the final one is the rear grip, the LTI Pillage Grip, and this one is going to give you guys sprint to fire and jumping sprint to fire speed. Those are the top 5 buffed guns in this game. They're actually really good, and they are competitive now. You can finally start using these weapons and go off on people. I noticed I'm playing it a lot better with these guns than I am with some of the guns that got nerfed. So guys, make sure you guys are using these classes. Make sure you're doing what you got to do with it. Make sure you drop a like on this video as well. Subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick. Peace out. Peace.